Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood, and today we're going to be learning all about snails, the slow and steady mollusks found on every continent except Antarctica. But before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell fact from fiction. Consider this. We all know that big animals like bears can hibernate during the winter to survive freezing temperatures and a lack of food. But do you think snails can do the same sort of thing? Rumor has it, under extreme weather conditions, a snail can basically go to sleep for years to survive until things get better. They say if a snail's environment is too dry, it'll just pull its body into the shell and nap for up to 3 years. What do you think? Is this an actual fact or just too good to be true? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is gastropod. That's Gastropod. A gastropod is a class of mollusks that includes both snails and slugs. A mollusk is a soft-bodied invertebrate, meaning it has a soft body and no backbone. Gastropods have a single, usually coiled shell, a muscular, creeping foot, and a distinct head with sensory organs like eyes and tentacles. Gastropods live in almost every environment on Earth, from deep ocean trenches to arid deserts and your backyard garden. They're the largest and most diverse class in the phylum Mollusca. With over 65,000 named species, gastropods make up about 80% of all living mollusks. The word gastropod was coined in the 19th century as scientists were working on classification and formal nomenclature and naming systems. But like a lot of our modern language, it's based on ancient Greek roots. Gaster means stomach, while pous or pod means foot. So, a gastropod is literally a stomach-foot animal. It sounds strange, but it makes sense when you look at a snail in motion. Its large, muscular foot rests directly under its digestive system, so it travels on its belly foot. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about snails. Number 1, snails have rows of thousands of microscopic teeth. Instead of a standard jaw, snails eat using something called a radula. The radula is a flexible ribbon-like tongue covered in microscopic teeth made of chitin, the same material found in insect exoskeletons. An average garden snail has about 14,000 teeth, while some marine species can have over 20,000. As the snail feeds, it scrapes the radula against food sources, tearing away small particles from plants or fungi. This scraping wears down the teeth, but a snail's radula constantly grows new teeth at the back of the mouth. These new teeth move forward like a conveyor belt on the ribbon to replace the old, worn-out teeth at the front. This continuous regeneration ensures the snail always has sharp tools for feeding. Biologists study these teeth because of their mechanical efficiency and durability. In fact, the teeth of the limpet, an aquatic snail, consists of a mineral protein composite that is said to be the strongest biological material on Earth, even stronger than spider silk. Number 2. A snail moves using a specialized mucus that acts as both a glue and a lubricant. A snail moves itself forward by sending a series of waves down the length of its foot. To facilitate this movement, a gland at the front of the foot secretes a complex mucus. The slime is a non-Newtonian fluid, meaning it changes its viscosity depending on the amount of pressure applied to it. When the snail pushes forward, the slime thins out to reduce friction, acting as a liquid lubricant. But when the snail stops moving, the slime thickens to act as a solid adhesive. This magical mucus allows snails to do some awesome things. They can crawl up vertical walls, hang upside down from glass ceilings, and securely attach to smooth surfaces. The slime also provides a thick protective barrier between the snail's delicate flesh and the rough ground. Because the mucus absorbs so much of the friction and pressure, a snail can crawl directly over the edge of a sharp razor blade without any cuts or injuries. Number 3. Most snail shells coil in a right-handed direction following a logarithmic spiral. When a snail grows, its shell grows along with it, expanding outward from the center in a spiral shape. In malacology, the study of mollusks, scientists refer to the direction of this coil as its chirality. Around 90% of all snail species have dextral shells, meaning they coil to the right or clockwise. A rare genetic mutation can cause a snail to develop a sistral shell, which coils to the left. Since a snail's internal organs map to the direction of its shell, left-handed snails are usually physically incapable of mating with right-handed snails. The shape of the shell itself forms a logarithmic spiral, a geometric pattern that's actually found pretty often in nature. You can see it in everything from snail shells to weather patterns and even the shape of spiral galaxies. Basically, a logarithmic spiral follows a curve where the distance from the center increases exponentially as it winds outward. They're self-similar, meaning they look the same at any scale. This logarithmic spiral allows the snail to increase the size of its shell without changing the shell's core shape. As the snail consumes calcium to build its protective home, the proportions of the spiral stay consistent from birth to adulthood. This growth pattern provides maximal interior space for the snail's organs with minimal required building material. Number 4. The cone snail, found in tropical oceans, is one of the most venomous creatures on the planet. While garden snails are herbivores eating plants, many marine snails are carnivorous predators. Cone snails hunt fish, worms, and other mollusks using a modified radula tooth that acts like a harpoon. When a cone snail detects prey, it extends a tubular organ called a proboscis and fires the tooth into the target. The tooth instantly injects neurotoxins known as conotoxins, and this venom paralyzes the prey in seconds, allowing the slow-moving snail to consume its meal before the fish could possibly swim away. The venom of a cone snail contains hundreds of different toxic compounds, and a sting from a larger species can even be fatal to humans. But ironically, they can also be used for medicine. Because the toxins target specific receptors in the nervous system, scientists have isolated individual compounds to create non-addictive medications. One of these synthetic compounds, ziconotide, is an FDA-approved painkiller used for chronic pain. It's said to be up to 1,000 times more potent than morphine. And our fifth and final fun fact for today: a land snail has eyes at the tips of its longest tentacles, but they mostly rely on smell and touch to navigate. When you look at a common garden snail, you'll notice 4 antenna-looking appendages coming out of its head. The 2 longer upper tentacles have the snail's eyes at their tips. But these eyes just have a simple lens and retina, allowing the snail to detect changes in light intensity or distinguish light from dark. The 2 shorter, lower tentacles have tactile and olfactory organs for touch and smell. If a snail bumps into something, muscles inside the tentacles will make them retract for protection. Because their vision is so limited, they can't focus on complex images or colors, snails rely heavily on their sense of smell to navigate. Their lower tentacles have specialized chemoreceptors that can detect food sources from several yards away. Snails also use olfaction to track the slime trails of other snails when searching for a mate. Olfaction is a scientific term referring to smell. Think of that as, I guess, a bonus word of the day. Basically, snails can find each other by smelling slime trails. Since snails have weak eyes and they don't even have ears or vocal cords, they really interact with the world through this combination of olfaction and physical touch. Now for some news you can use. If you have a garden, you might find that snails can be a pest eating your plants and vegetables. Instead of using chemical pesticides, which will harm the snails but also your soil and beneficial insects, you can protect your plants using simple copper tape. Just wrap a continuous line of self-adhesive copper tape around the rim of your plant pots or the perimeter of your raised garden bed. This works because of a chemical reaction between the copper and the snail's mucus. When a snail attempts to cross the copper barrier, the slime reacts with the metal to produce a small electrochemical shock. This mild electric charge won't kill the snail, it just creates an unpleasant sensation that deters the snail from crossing the tape. It's a safe, long-lasting, and environmentally friendly way to keep snails away from your prized plants. Finally, the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked if a snail can really sleep for years to survive extreme weather. Believe it or not, that's a fact. It's a process called estivation, which is the warm weather equivalent of hibernation. When conditions become dangerously dry or hot, a snail retreats into its shell and secretes a layer of dried mucus called an epiphragm over the opening. This seals the shell to prevent moisture loss. The snail then lowers its heart rate and slows its metabolism almost to a stop. A snail can remain in this state of suspended animation for up to 3 years, then get up when the rain and humidity return to safe levels. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about snails with me today, and be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.